Welcome back, everyone. Now, this is the third part of the loop. If you did not see our previous two lectures on for loop and while loop, please check the description of this video. You will get the link of this uh, previous two topic that is also need to understand because do while loop is going to be working in different way. Okay, the for and while is quite similar, but do while loop is working in some different way. So if you did not saw that earlier two lecture, check the description of this video. You will get the link of that. Okay, so let's start with the do while loop. Now let's see how do while loop is work. What is do while loop and when it is required. Okay, so let's see the syntax first. So here I'm writing the syntax of do while loop. Like while loop, the initialization is also should be the outside of the loop. We need to put so initialization is outside. We start with the do, and while should be the last part of the body at the outside of the body. While, and here is the some condition or you can say expression that you need to do, and there must be a semicolon. Okay, so where is the updation now? That's why I told you that it is quite different the way do while loop is works. Okay, we'll see in this lecture how can we use this updation. Just for the timing, just consider this is the initialization that you put outside of the loop, and while is come at during the exit from the body of the while loop. It means, see, we all know that how program is executed. Program instructions get executed in a sequence, always in a sequence from top to bottom in this direction. So if it is executed in a sequence by the CPU, so while coming into this line, okay, the do part of the while loop, what compiler will do? Will compiler enter? Will compiler go beyond that? Because there is no condition need to check. So this is the specialty of the do while loop. So this is the reason do while loop we called what? An exit control loop. Please note down exit controlled loop. Earlier one we have discussed what as an entry control loop. For loop is also entry controlled, your while loop is also entry controlled. Exit controlled. Exit control means at first when your compiler is coming to this line, okay, there is no condition, so compiler will go inside the body of loop. This is the specialty. It will execute the line that you have written inside the body of do, and while coming out from the body, then it's going to check the condition. If this condition is true, then loop will continue. If it is true, if it is this condition is false, then from this particular condition, it will go outside of the body of the loop. Okay, what very special, no? So let's see some examples and write a code for that first. Easy one. So let's perform some initialization here. The counter variable I'm using here 1. Next, do and while. Let's put it while. We'll decide the condition later. Similar program. Let's see how we can do. Let's okay. Let's print the same line again. Inside the body and have a backslash n. Printf. It should be printf, right? So condition I want to print that particular line 5 times. So while count is less than equal to 5, so I want it 5 times. So now I think you understood that where is the updation. If I did not use the updation, this will execute infinite. The infinite because condition is remain true and I is remain in the same position 1 1 1 1. Sorry, count is remain in same position 1 1 1. So what we can do after printing that particular body of the code from the body, here we can use count plus plus for updation. Now see what will happen. Now how many times this loop will execute? 5 times. See, We put the condition inside the body, sorry, updation inside the body, and now this loop is executed 5 times according to our expectation. So this condition will check only when this condition, when this body of the loop get executed at least once. Let me show you. Now I put a condition which is wrong. Count should be, I am saying, less than 0. The condition is written. But count is started from 1 and updation is done 1 to 2. So it is going in this direction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is this point? See what is doing? The initial value is 1. And what we are doing? Count plus plus. So it will definitely go in this direction. Correct. So now what you have written in the condition you written less than 0. So here is 1, here is 0, here is 2, here is 3. So it will go in this direction. So that means my condition is false, definitely. So if condition is false, let's see how many times this loop will get executed. Run. Now see, loop is get executed once, this line get printed inside the body, it's printed once. That's why I told you, in do while loop, even the condition is false, the body of the loop will get executed at least once. Body of the loop will get executed once. Even condition is false, at least and at most once. Okay, this is the specialty. So I hope you understand how do while loop works. Very careful where to put this updation. If you put this updation in somewhere else, it will not work. Updation should be inside the body. Okay, updation should be correlation with this condition also. Okay, so now let me show you an example where this kind of loop is very helpful. Can we make a do while loop infinite? Let us try. Let's put it 1 over here. 1. We did it in the while loop as well using 1. So run this. See, it is infinite. Yes. Done. Can we miss the condition here? Let's try. See? No. You did not follow the syntax. It is telling you that expected some expression inside this parenthesis. Okay. So let's make it 1. Here also you can use break and continue. Okay. Break and continue. Let me show you here. If count is greater than 5, break. Run this. See, 5 times it's printed. Once it's become 5 due to once it's become 6 due to this plus plus, immediately it is breakout. Similarly, you can use also continue. Okay. Similarly, that we have tried with the while loop and for loop as well earlier. We can practice with the continue as well. There is no restrictions to use the continue inside the do while. Okay, then let's continue. So now I'm going to actually show you where in which particular case, while you writing program or solving any particular problem, when do while loop will be preferred over while loop and for loop. So normally, see, if you look at carefully this particular program, here we are controlling this loop. This loop is controlled through this if condition. Right? When this the value of this particular variable count cross the value of 5, immediately that loop control is go outside. That means you while executing the code, now your program control is here. Okay. So what did you understand from this discussion is that we found that whatever the condition written in the while as part of the do while loop, this condition will be checked by the compiler after executing the body of this do loop at least once, then and then. So let's design a program using do while loop where you're going to ask the user that he or she going to continue the execution of the program or not. Just like your ATM, when you visit the ATM, at first you get certain options into the screen. Then it is asked for that PIN code. Suppose you have given the PIN code, then done the transaction, then while coming out from the ATM, it is asking you, do you want to continue or not for another transaction. So if you continue for another transaction, then what will happen? Simply ATM will ask you again might be insert the ATM card, or if your ATM is still inside, the debit card is still inside in the ATM machine, then they'll just continue, will ask the pin code again. That means this is the condition, correct? So we can also build similar kind of program in C programming to ask the particular user that he or she want to continue or not. Okay, so let's write a very simple code. We don't require any more count here. Okay, so now see, no count will be used here because I do not know how many times user will perform ATM operation. So we are not going to use any count. What I'm going to do, I simply going to declare two variable first, and then we'll perform the addition of between the two number till user say yes, I want to continue, I want to continue. Okay. Now let's declare the variable. Line number 11, I have declared two variable over here. Now let's take input this two number. Give a message. Enter two numbers. Okay, and then take a scanf statement for reading the values through input. There is a space separated values. So what is space separated, what is comma separated, this point is already discussed in formatted input output video. We'll get the link of that video in the description of this lecture. Our input is ready. So what I want to do, simply I want to print the sum of these two numbers. Okay, see, the summation is get over here. Let us first check that is it okay or not, everything. Just to run this code. It will be infinite definitely, because while one is there, yes, see, I get the output, it is asking enter two numbers. Now, before it is asking enter two numbers, we must prompt the user that would you like to continue or not. Press Y for Y for continue, else press N, okay, for N, uppercase N, uppercase N, for stop the execution, to stop. Okay, so here you can see I am using double quotes also, and to print the double quotes we need to place a backslash before that double quotes. So this point is discussed in the video that I have prepared for a printf function based on printf function, almost 1 hour video. You'll get the link of that lecture also in the video description. You can see what is the escape sequence and how printf is going to print the special characters. Okay, so let me just check one more time. Is it okay or not? I'm entering two numbers. And now see, it is asking that press Y for continue and N for stop. Okay, so let's take an input. We need a character for that purpose. So let's declare a character. So getChar is a unformatted function that we normally use to take input a character. Okay, so based to understand how getChar is works, what it is, a separate video is already there in the playlist of this particular C programming lecture series. You can check as well. I'll provide that link in the description as well. So now our input is ready. Either you will press lowercase y or uppercase y, or either you will press lowercase n or uppercase n for continuation or for stopping the execution. So now we need to check the values of this ch. Instead of using if else here, we can put this here in the while. Ch equal to y or ch equal to uppercase y. So whenever you press lowercase y and uppercase y, this line will prompt to you to ask you that would you like to continue or stop the execution. Okay. Now let's run the code. Waiting for the input. First time it executed. Second time it is printing the message, press Y and N for this purpose, but it won't wait here for input. This is the problem in C programming especially. Whenever you combine input between integer, line number 9 I have taken input for 2 integers, and line number 12 I have taken input for 1 character. So when we have combined this integer and character input in C programming, you always get this face this issue. Whenever this input for integer is complete, character input will not be completed, because your buffer is full after pressing the enter key once the value that you have given the 2 number through the scanner. Then you press the enter key, the buffer is already full. So this value of enter key has been assigned to this CH. So to free that buffer. To free that buffer, normally we prefer one function, fflush stdin. But I'm using online GDB compiler. Online GDB compiler, this fflush function will not work. So instead of that, what we're going to use, I'm going to use a false function call after the integer input. Okay, now if I execute this code, let's see. Okay, enter 2 number. At the very first time, condition is not checked. This is the nature of do while loop. I get the addition. Now see, it is waiting. Press Y for continue and for no. I press Y. It is again asking to give input. Sorry. Let's get the addition. Again, it is asking. So unless you press N, lowercase n or uppercase n, this will be continue. Even though if you press any other character other than Y, this loop will continue. Okay, this is the perfect example where we can prefer do while loop, where you do not know how many times this loop will execute, because totally is depend on the user input. Okay, so this kind of problem normally we implemented using do while loop in real life projects as well, or while we learning any particular programming language. Okay, so I hope you understand the perfect way of implementing do while loop. What are the various things you should take care, how it can be infinite, how can break can be implemented, how continue can be implemented. Okay, so give me a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe this channel. I'll now next going to be we're going to see a video lectures where I'm going to discuss various MCQ based problem, which is specially designed using the 3 different loops, for while and do while, so that you can understand complete working mechanism of these 3 loops. Okay, so I hope you will enjoy. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.